Andy, it is time for the Monday wrap-up from the Chicago Street Course 4th of July weekend.
Even though it's Tuesday.
Yeah, even though it's Tuesday, yeah, we can still call it the Monday wrap-up because, I mean, for most folks, you never know what their work schedule's like. Today could be their Monday after coming back from a long weekend. So,
That's true, and it's actually mine.
yeah, right, exactly. But either way, producer Wayne alongside Andrew DeLay here. We are going to sit and talk NASCAR, Formula One, IndyCar, and man, we've got a whole bunch of news to touch on this weekend here. SVG sweeping the whole damn weekend. Lando Norris getting the win over in Formula One. IndyCar was at Mid-Ohio. We've got the breakdown on the in-season challenges. Now we're down from the Sweet 16 to the Elite 8. Heading into round 3 this weekend, coming up in Sonoma. And a whole lot more to touch on, brother.
All right. Well, let's get underway, man. Light the fires and kick the tires, or whatever they say. Kick the tires and light the fires. I don't know.
I swear, you're gonna make me go find these sound effects and just have them handy for whatever reason.
God.
And you're referencing the movie Independence Day, and it's kick the tires and light the fires, Big Daddy.
Yeah, something like that. Let's do it.
God. All right, so touching on, of course, obviously the biggest news of the weekend here, SVG, Andy. My God, the guy gets the pole in both Xfinity and Cup, and except for that one bad pit stop towards the end of the race in the Cup Series, SVG was wire to wire, baby.
No stopping him. He knows how to get around the street course, no doubt. He goes out there and kicks everyone's ass at Mexico, comes back and does it at Chicago. And guess what? This weekend, Sonoma. You got to kick their ass there, too? He's my pick.
Yep, I'm going to have to go with him as well for this weekend as well. There's just no stopping him. And what's even crazier is you look at the Xfinity car and the Cup car. They are two totally separate machines. You know, like the Xfinity car is kind of like the old Gen 6 Cup car, whereas you got the current Gen 7 Cup car. So two totally different body styles, two totally different feels. SVG is just out there just gear jamming away and just kicking everybody's tail.
He knows the physics of a big car, of course, coming from Aussie supercars, being a champion down there and all that. So SVG understands how to get these big, heavy things through these tight little road course, or street courses, which they are.
That could have been taken a whole different way, but we won't say anything.
Okay.
Oh man, but yeah, SVG, and what's even crazier is SVG won by pretty much a second over everybody, except for except for the Cup race, because there's something else that happened on Sunday that really needs to be touched on here, because we call NASCAR out all the time when we see a safety flub, and there was a huge safety flub this past Sunday at Chicago in the street course race here, and that being one Cody Ware in the 52 machine. And realistically, breaking a brake rotor, I mean, that's something that happens every so often when it comes to a Cup Series race or an Xfinity or truck or any series of racing for that matter of fact. But when NASCAR took over 30 seconds to issue the caution flag, the full course caution, they had the local caution there in turn 6. As far as everything was going, shall we say, I guess would be the best way to put it. They had the local caution out for that area so the drivers could, know to take it a little bit easier coming through that area. But, and because Cody Ware was running fairly high in the standings throughout the day, he was running top 15 most of the day, so he was not having a bad run. But tearing that brake rotor like he did, and NASCAR taking as long as they did to throw the caution flag, virtually, in essence, they waited that 34 seconds for SVG to make, give or take, about 4 or 5 more corners and get around to the white flag before they end up calling the race at that point.
Yeah, they did. And, I mean, Ware hit those damn tires hard, too.
Mm-hmm.
He went in there at over 92, 93 94 miles an hour, something like that.
I think the effective speed, if I remember reading right, was 97.3.
But okay.
And I mean, now that's an estimation, folks. So again, I'm not saying Minister of Misinformation is coming out of the bag here right now, but that's just an estimation. So if anybody from NASCAR has the technical data to verify that for us, definitely tell us. We would love to know. And but still, the fact still remains is, why did they wait so long to throw the caution? Because I'm not going to lie, that racing was pretty tight right there in the front two, front three coming to the white flag.
Yes, you're right. And it's my concern again is safety for the driver. That's my big thing.
Yep. And considering when that brake rotor went for Cody Ware, I think if I'm not mistaken, he was running 12th at the time.
Okay.
He was running like 11th or 12th. He was having a really good, solid run, all things considered, for the Chicago Street Course. And so the fact that he was like mid-pack or upper mid-pack, that still left 20-some-odd guys that had to get around him. So that created one hell of a safety concern.
Yeah, for the driver. You got to get him pulled out. If he says, I need help, hey, that's it. It's time to put the damn yellow out, red out, whatever it is. Get safety crews out there immediately.
Yep. Don't be wasting no time on it either. And but thankfully they did get to him, even though it was late. I guess it is what it is at this point. And we move on now to the next weekend coming up here, which, again, folks, we've got Sonoma and what used to be the Toyota Save Mart 350 way back in the day. And honestly, I wish it still were the Toyota Save Mart 350, because that was that was the one race to look forward to every single year, was Sonoma. But you know what? I'm going to look at the schedule here, because I'm curious what they're calling it this year.
Well, the big thing that we can say that they're...
Look at that. I'm right. It's the same name. Hot damn.
Okay. The big difference is that Sonoma's wider. And that's where I think SVG whooped everyone else's asses with how wide these tracks are, but versus a street course. So I don't know. He's got things dialed in right now.
He does.
So it should be good to see if he can do a threefer.
That would be really, really interesting. I'm not gonna lie, because I mean, June 15th, the Viva Mexico 250, and then this weekend the Grant Park 165, and then this weekend we got the Toyota Save Mart 350. And that's going to be the last road course, Andy, on the schedule that we go to until the middle of August, when we go back to Watkins Glen. So the next three races after Sonoma, we got Dover, we got Indy, and we've got Iowa. So this might be SVG's last best chance to win another race, but I still wouldn't put anything past him on the intermediaries that we got coming up too.
Yeah, that's true. And he'll learn those.
Oh, yeah, easily. And but moving on along here now, folks, we're going to break down the in-season challenge for you here. And we went from the Elite 8 to the Final 4 as it pertains to Round 3 coming up here from the challenge this week. And I sit and I look at this, Andy, and it makes me giggle every time I look at this, because I was watching it on the Race 2 on Sunday, where Ty Dillon was going up head-to-head against Brad Keselowski for the in-season challenge. BK ends up wrecking out. So guess who automatically moves on to the next round?
Yeah, I don't know.
Ty Dillon.
Oh, okay.
So Ty Dillon moves into the Final 4 race. Now, mind you, he is still at the 32 seed because of where he's at in points. So to see the last place guy, technically by ranking, still holding on and being in the Final 4 now for this in-season challenge to win $1 million, whew, it's a mind blower. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, they need to earn their money somehow. They're not winning it on the track.
Yeah, well, now Ty actually had Ty actually had a fairly decent run. He was running top 20 this weekend at Chicago. So now, granted, obviously Sonoma is going to be a whole different story. So we'll have to wait and see what happens there. The other showdowns that we had this weekend: Alex Bowman versus Bubba Wallace. Alex Bowman clearly had that one in the bag. He moves on to the next round, eliminating Bubba Wallace. John Hunter Nemechek versus Chase Elliott. And weirdly enough, Chase got eliminated from the in-season challenge, as he also had some issues with incidents from this past weekend at the Chicago Street Race. So John Hunter Nemechek moves forward. Eric Jones versus Ricky Stenhouse Jr. Eric Jones clearly moved on from that one because Ricky was involved in a very early incident in the race. Zane Smith versus Chris Buescher. Sadly, Chris got tied up in some incidents as well early on in the race, and that moves Zane Smith to the next round. You had AJ Allmendinger versus Ty Gibbs, and AJ was doing pretty good in the race himself, but based on finishing positions, Ty finishing in, I believe it was second, if I remember correctly. Ty Gibbs, second, third place, yeah. Wherever that finish was, moves him into the final 4 round for the in-season challenge. And then we had Carson Hocevar versus Tyler Reddick. And as much as we love Carson Hocevar, we knew Tyler Reddick was going to be a lot better off in that situation, and Reddick takes the win on that one, moving him over into the final 4 here. And the last battle that we had was Noah Gragson versus Ryan Preece, and Ryan Preece had the better finish of the two from this past weekend, so that moves Ryan Preece into the final 4. As far as the full challenge bracket this weekend, it's going to be Ty Dillon versus Alex Bowman, John Hunter Nemechek versus Eric Jones, Ryan Preece versus Tyler Reddick, and Ty Gibbs versus Zane Smith. If I had to put picks in, knowing Sonoma, I'm going to say it's going to be Bowman, Jones, Ty Gibbs, and that last one's a toss-up, but I'm going to give it to Tyler Reddick.
I hope so. Tyler Reddick can get around a road course.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, so can Ryan Preece, but I mean, as far as experience goes, I gotta give it to Reddick on that one.
I agree with you. Reddick, for sure.
Most definitely. All right. Well, that breaks down the in-season challenge as we head into round 3 this weekend with the Toyota Save Mart 350 at Sonoma Raceway. And by the way, folks, that is going to be coming on. Let's see, where was the schedule at here? I just had it. It's going to be Sunday, July 13th this weekend at 3:30 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, 12:30 p.m. on TNT or HBO Max if you have that app on your streaming devices. For the Xfinity Series, Saturday, July the 12th at 4:30 p.m. Eastern, 1:30 p.m. Pacific Time on the CW. And trucks are still not back until July 25th when they tackle the Lucas Oil Indianapolis Raceway Park. And but moving on here, we have got to talk IndyCar, Andy. And Alex Palou, boy, he made a critical mistake this past weekend in Mid-Ohio, which gives Scott Dixon, which is a name we haven't heard very much in the last 2 seasons, his 59th IndyCar victory.
That's good. Scott Dixon out there getting it done. You know, old guys rule. Mm-hmm. So,
hey, get off my lawn.
I was gonna say one thing. You didn't call Dixon for that, did you?
No, I did not call Dixon for that one. Actually, if I remember right, I think I called Pato O'Ward, but I'll have to go back and double check. So too. I'll have to go double check on that one.
You know who I called?
I forget.
I called our Facebook guy, you know, and said, "Hey, Zach Mertes, why don't you go ahead and pick for me? Because I don't follow these damn open wheel things, so I don't know who I picked."
Actually, you know what? This is a great time because we can do this here real quick since we've got the time to play with here. Let's see, Burning Rubber.
While he's over there doing that, I do want to send a shout out to all of our new followers on Burning Rubber Radio on Facebook and YouTube and TikTok. thank you, folks, and for becoming part of the Burning Rubber Radio Army. Please, if you're just now seeing this, please give us a follow over there. And thank you to Kathy Wooden for all that she does. Of course, Primetime Chuck, he's out there putting stuff up there. And of course, Zach Mertez, thank you very much for all of our folks that are over there running our socials.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'm trying to find Zach's pick graphic, Andy. I am not. Oh, here we go. Andy's race picks. Okay, so this should be interesting here. Okay, so this is for Formula One. You had the number 44, and for IndyCar you had the number 10. That doesn't tell me anything because
you know who they are. I don't have a damn clue.
Knowing Murtis, like I thought I knew Murtis, I thought he was going to put the little picture up there to be like, yeah, that's that person. But he didn't. So, and you know what? I'm feeling too lazy to go look it up right now. So we'll just leave it at that.
Yeah, exactly.
And but moving along here to Formula One real quick, we got to touch on them before we get ready to wrap up here for the week. And now that one, I did call the winner of that race. I am 2 for 2 in big challenges this weekend here. Called SVG to win Cup and called Lando Norris to win the Formula One race at Silverstone and the British Grand Prix. And sure enough, he got it.
He got it. Yes, he did.
Now, mind you, Verstappen started on the pole, but Lando come in there and just said, nope, I'm out.
You notice how it didn't all Verstappen this year? No,
it's really not. Yeah. There have been some unique runs this year. I mean, we've seen Oscar Piastri do something. We've seen Lando Norris do something. Verstappen's had a few good runs. I mean, even Lewis Hamilton has come up and done some stuff this year, which is nice to see. Oh. It's nice to see a little bit of a change up, all things considered.
Yep, that's right. And talking about Formula One, I guess the movie's out right now. Mm-hmm. I know one of the Burning Rubber Radio Army buddies of mine, Bob Steele, he said he went out and saw the movie this weekend and said it was really good. And that's great. I got to go see it, man.
I do want to
by next weekend.
I do want to go see that movie too. And I'll tell you what, that's one other final topic we can touch on too, before we get into things here. And this is good for more of an opinion piece than anything else here. Is that I saw a comment, Andy, this past weekend from Dale Earnhardt Jr. Involving Tom Cruise and okay. Days of Thunder 2. As far as a revival goes for that whole franchise. And the rumor has it right now that if they do the Days of Thunder revival, instead of having Tom's original character remain a driver, they're talking about making him a team owner for this movie. And
yeah, that's what Junior was saying. He'd buy into him being a team owner, not a driver.
Actually, no, the exact opposite. He said he would rather see him stay a driver than a team owner.
Here we go, the Minister of Misinformation.
No, I saw the image. Junior said he would rather see him as a driver than a team owner, and also bring back Rowdy Burns and everybody like that for one final showdown.
Hey, everybody, will you please correct him on social media, please?
Hey, hold on, you know what? You're really gonna do this to me, aren't you? Let's see here. Where is?
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
I'm trying to remember where I found that image at.
I was watching the whole interview with him, with Junior, and he was saying, yeah, he could see him being an owner, not a driver.
You weren't walking with Junior. You weren't walking with Junior. You might want to rethink what you just said there. You said you were walking with Junior.
I was watching.
There you go. That's better. You were watching something, not walking.
Okay.
It's fun to bust his balls once in a while. And but either way, folks, like the image I saw said that he would rather see Junior said he would rather see Tom as a driver, not a team owner. Just to be able to have that one final showdown. But if you guys see differently, or if you have the image, post it up on our socials, Facebook, X, Instagram, whatever the case might be, and we'll review it coming up on Friday's show.
Okay, yes.
And but with that all said, folks, that's going to wrap it up for the Monday show on Burning Rubble, baby. And we're going to be out of here until Friday this week. We love you guys, and we will see you again Friday for the Gas and Go.
Burning rubber, baby.